What is going on, everybody? Lukey Boy here. Today we're going to be talking about what I kind of posted yesterday about day trading. Some Critterz blocked. I can't even speak today, guys. Critterz blocks. There we go. Take it easy. Take it easy. And I'm going to talk to you about why I'm doing it as well. Why this compared to all of the others. Back in the day, I was trading Bitcoin and Ethereum. And mixed success. Don't really ever think I was down or anything, but I was never massively up. So this is something that I didn't massively enjoy. I was playing around with all that kind of trading, like long-term, short-term day trading. I just didn't quite find like my perfect kind of synchronicity to it, if you get what I mean. I couldn't find like the enjoyment mixed with the patience and all that kind of thing. Again, that's like experience as well. But now that I've got into NFTs, there's actually obviously a chance to link in NFTs to trading in day trading. Or you can do it every day or whatever, a couple of days, a week. But I'm focusing on the day trading because the blocks that are related to the Critterz NFT are a little bit more volatile and a little bit more potential. So let me just move my little face. So the reason I'm doing this, first and foremost, is I have Ethereum and I'm buying and selling my NFTs with Ethereum, mostly, nearly 100% of everything I'm doing. I do have some Tezos, but not much going on with that. Now, when I am obviously day trading, I'm having to get blocks, which is the in-game currency for the Critterz world, NFT world. Okay, so Critterz is, if you don't know what it is, it's like a Minecraft game overlaid on top of Minecraft. So you can basically play Minecraft and earn blocks in the Minecraft world with a Critterz, which is an NFT, and the land is NFT. So for example, if I go to enter app, on here is the map. And basically, you just log into Minecraft and play the game on their land. So these are all NFTs, these little blocks, sort of plot things, blocks, whatever you want to call them. I have these green ones here. I have a couple of other random ones just distributed around the map. That's a green one there, one there, and something else down here. And my thought process is, because just like with any day trading, people say, oh, but it's very risky, because what if it goes in the wrong direction? Well, for me, I'm happy to hold blocks because I'm using and interacting and playing and being part of the NFT ecosystem with Genesis Critterz, with the Critterz ecosystem. And so, yes, if the price of blocks reduces and now if I convert that back into Ethereum, I'm going to get half of my Ethereum back. Of course, I'm not going to do that because why would I want to use 0.5 or half an Ethereum and only get back 0.2? I wouldn't. So I'd be left with blocks. But that's okay because I can use blocks to buy land in the map on their website. So it says plot price and it comes up here with the amount per plot. And these plots are selling at 0.07 at the moment on the NFT marketplace in Ethereum. So I can actually get these and potentially flip it for Ethereum if I wanted, but I wouldn't. I would keep the plots because long story short, at some point these will all be minted, meaning they'll all be bought. There's plots here that are like in the gray and they're not bought. But once they're all bought, the price of the Genesis or Series 1 land, which you can kind of see here in this big old cube, won't be able to be purchased through this website anymore because they've been unleft. And all that will happen is there'll be version 2 land, which is this, which we can see a bit of it rendering. But basically these will have more premium once all the actual lands have been minted from the website, because at the moment it's cheaper to mint from the website with blocks. So you see here, it says 2,300. So the reason I'm doing this, if I go to 300, yeah, it's 0.043 ETH. But on the secondary market, they're selling for 0.07. And so the reason, so in the NFT space on their website or on Critterz here, the reason I'm going into this is because it links into the whole process. There's no reason for people to be buying here at 0.07 or 0.069. Actually, yeah, here. Because, well, they can if they want a specific plot of land, yeah. But in terms of price and price point, getting into the ecosystem, you might as well just jump onto their website, spend $10 converting your ETH to blocks on like SushiSwap or something, here, and then just buy it for cheaper. Yeah. So, but at some point, this is all going to be minted, and then what happens? Obviously, the drive for secondary sales will increase, and we've already seen what happens here. The reason there's no volume is because people aren't necessarily buying and selling it here unless they really want a specific thing. As in they really want a specific plot of land. But what happens when the price of blocks skyrockets and actually it flips? So the price of minting on their website is more expensive than buying on the secondary market. You get like an absolute mental spike like this. So it went from like 0.1 ETH to like actually went to 0.35 ETH in one day before kind of chilling back again. And that's because the price of blocks skyrocketed here. Doesn't look like much on this chart, but it actually went up 550%. And so the price to actually buy on their website was more expensive than buying on the secondary market. And so the impetus, is that the word, or the vibe? That's pretty completely wrong. But the consensus was, why would you ever bother minting on the website to get land when that's going to be too expensive? People jumping on here. And then that's what drove the volume. But now that the price is now chilled back off, basically actually lower than what it was before, and this is against wrapped ETH, so basically it's against ETH. So blocks versus ETH, because I'm only going to be trading between ETH and blocks. It's not going to be US dollar. So that's why I'm not looking at like the US dollar price, because it will give me a skewed price, because I'm only going to be converting between the two, ETH and blocks. So, in theory, just so you can kind of see what I've been doing, on the 2 hour I've been looking at, I sold up here my blocks. This is white little arrow, so I could actually track it. And then I bought back down here. And if you actually look at the price difference, that's like 40%. It dipped in like a couple of hours. And then I bought back down here. And then I actually sold, you can't actually see it, but it's there. On that, so I sold that same 2 hours again up here. And I started about like 0.35 ETH about 10 days ago. And I got up to about 0.55 ETH. I've actually bought like some land and stuff. Like I actually use some blocks to buy land and stuff as well, so I haven't actually got that ETH. That ETH's now been kind of distributed around a bit because I wanted to use some of those profits from this to buy the land as well. But ultimately, if I am stuck with blocks, because let's say the price does reduce down like 50% and it doesn't go up anymore, just for some reason, everyone's like, oh, but I'm stuck with blocks now. That's not what you want. Well, actually, I don't mind because I can go ahead and buy cheap lands now, which I want to do anyway. So that's the goal. But in the short term, I want to get more blocks to get, in theory, free lands. So if I can just chip up those blocks over time and get more and more and more between buying and selling to ETH, then at some point, I may not be able to do this anymore because all of these might be minted on the website, and therefore my use case for those blocks is diminished because I can't now use them. And I believe once the version 2 land comes out, which you can't buy and you can't actually go to or do anything on it. You can't actually go past like an invisible wall on this map. I can actually then buy version 2 lands, but it's not been confirmed or nothing yet. So it looks very plausible, because why would you just do it for this land and not for the second version 2 or second series, whatever you want to call it? But all I'm actually doing ultimately is just looking at the 2 hour and playing in the range. And these are 2 hour candles. So, actually in this instance, I missed it. But if I could have just watched that and bought down here, I could have sold at like 137% profit. And that's like a 2.37x. So 0.5 ETH would be like 1.17 or something, or would it be that? Whatever it would end up being. That's just in a 2 hour candle. I'm not playing anything crazy. I'm not waiting for like a crazy stray wick like this. That actually was because there was a exploit in the contract, and someone was able to someone was able to get more blocks for free doing something through their website. Some sort of like, it wasn't a hack or anything, but it was just it was allowing them to get more blocks. And so it caused like a kind of like, I think 800,000 blocks they were able to get hold of when they shouldn't have. And that caused the price to muck around a little bit, because obviously 800,000 blocks is, well, it doesn't even come up on here. 80,000 blocks is 2 ETH, so double that. That's 21 ETH, 22 ETH that they could have got. And so, of course, if they're going to be selling that on the market, it's going to cause a bit of a fuckery on here, basically. So, yeah, as you can see after that, it kind of like it's been playing between these two boxes. I got a middle box here because it was playing between these two boxes. And then I just watched and then played again. But even here, if you bought in down here, and then it did kind of roll down here, and now you can't sell back to ETH. It wicked up here, come back down. It actually wicked up again here, but it didn't just get as high, and it came back down. It's gone back up here. So there's definitely more. Yeah, there's opportunities to get out if you did even buy down in here, thinking this was the range, because this was originally the range. Now it's actually a bigger range, because before it was playing like 30% max, but now it's playing like a 84% range, which means that potential is greater, but also the risk. Because most people say, yeah, but the risk is reduced for me, because if I'm stuck with the blocks, because I'm either going to have one or the other. I'm only going to ever change ETH for more blocks every time. So each time I'm chipping away, or I'm going to have blocks that I can't convert to ETH anymore because the price is too low. But then what I'll do at some point, I'll be like, okay, that's fine. What I'm going to do now is going to go mint 20 lands or something, or 15 lands or 12, whatever it is, because I want to accumulate lands anyway for my NFT collection. And so I'm kind of like covering both sides. But in the meantime, while I'm not forced into that position, I'm trying to increase my overall ETH. So what I can then potentially get to is that I'm at, say that, for example, I can actually show you. So over here, back in the day, I had 16,490 blocks. So that's what I had at one point, and that was 0.43 ETH. But then what you can see is these actually are part of the same, I sold these two to ETH, but what you can see here is I then bought, for that same amount of money, 24,000 blocks. You see? So I'm chipping up my blocks each time, and obviously that would then convert if I sell. So what I did then is I sold 24,010 blocks in 2 chunks because it was better for me to do it. It was like I was getting better conversion, so I did it twice. And I made, if you factor in, this one was higher. You can just go on to these. Basically let's just do it so that people don't think I'm making anything up. 0.275, that was one transaction. And then this one, 0.246. So basically I made I got back, let me see this, 0.521. And I only had that. And when was this? That was 1 day ago. So I went up yesterday, I think it was 0.92 to nearly 0.1 ETH in the day. But in the meantime, in the short term, I'm wanting to chip up my ETH, of course, because I can do more with ETH. Ultimately, if I can get that to 1 ETH, 2 ETH, in the meantime, before anything potentially happens, because there's so many opportunities here. Like I could buy here, sell here, and then I could, it dips. You can barely see it, but it's got like a tiny bit here. I could buy somewhere down here and sell up here, and I could buy here and sell here. I could then buy here and sell there. I could then buy here, and I'm not sure if it went up or down first, because it doesn't show me. But if I really wanted to look, I could go into 30 minutes and just have a look here to see what, But that's only over like 3 days. So there's like 4 or 5 opportunities. So let's say I'm making 0.1, let's say, each time. So that has to be both. That has to be a buy and a sell to get the 0.1 confirmed, because I obviously have to convert it back from blocks. So I buy down here. What's the date here? 27th of March, 27, 28, 29, 30, that's like 4 days ago. Buy and sell. So we got 0.1. Buy and sell. 0.2. Buy and sell somewhere around. Maybe I'd wait until it was up here, probably a bit. So 0.3. Buy, and then I did actually sell some up here. So 0.4. Buy, and I sold up here 0.5. So you could have 0. Obviously, you'd have to, depending on the amount that you started with. I could have 0.5 here in 4 days. So let's say that this goes on for another 4, 5, 6, 7 days before it, at some point it could just collapse, and that's fine, because then again, once I notice that, and I'm like, okay, you know what, I can either hold these blocks, but at some point I'm going to want to spend them, because at some point there's going to be no more lands left. And what I mean by that, we go up here, there's 20,800 lands minted, and there was 22,500 lands available. So I know when I'm watching this, when that gets up to like 22,000, people are going to start, it's only 500 left, that's not long. So really I need to probably start getting some before that. And then the last batch of my blocks, if I'm stuck with them, I can just spend around that point. And then that's basically the process. But in the meantime, that could take another month. So what can I do in another month? What I can do in the next week? If I can then potentially get 0.35 to 0.7, I can remove that 0.35 investment, and I can play with a free roll, 0.35, to see what I can get it up to. And if I only get it up to 0.5, or I have blocks, the equivalent of like 0.5, I don't know, like 28,000 blocks, well, that's actually 3 blocks, because I've taken my original investment out. And how many lands can I get for those 28,000 blocks? Let's work it out. At the moment, a land is, let's say 2,300, sorry. Let's say I have like 25,000 blocks. Well, actually, what would 0.5 be? Let's just have a look. So if I wanted ETH and I wanted 25, yeah, actually perfect. So we'd have about 25,000 blocks, and we'd divide that by 2,300. I'd have 10.8 lands. I could potentially put some money in like a tiny extra bit of ETH, or I can just keep some blocks. Because I'm earning blocks in my bank. Here, I'm earning them by being part of the ecosystem, having lands and playing. Oh, I don't play, but I actually rent out my Critterz, and the person generates me free blocks. Or not free, because they're interacting with the ecosystem. There's a marketplace if you really wanted to buy and sell like stuff, but I don't do that because boring. Yeah, pretty much. And that's basically the play I'm doing, because now that I'm covering myself both sides because I'm part of the ecosystem. If I wasn't part of the ecosystem and it was like, I don't know, like Tezos or something, I don't want Tezos. I don't have any use for it, and I don't really want it because it's going to be more volatile. Like, I don't want to be left with it because the volatility is the unknown with a altcoin that isn't more secure in the top 3, 4. Well, the top 3 is Bitcoin, Ethereum, USDT. Of course, USDT you can't really trade as such. You can. If you had like millions of dollars, you can get micro transactions, but that's not going to be any of us, is it? So I want to, you know, I wouldn't be doing that otherwise. And so there's plenty of other tokens as well that NFTs have. They're used for in-game utilization. That's what they're used for. They're to interact with their ecosystem. That's what they're for. And so I enjoy, you know, I want to accumulate as well. I don't mind having blocks left over because I can use them for potentially the version 2 lands. I can speculate. They're going to, you know, let's leave some blocks on the side and I can buy some version 2 lands. Maybe they're going to be cheaper. Maybe they're going to start off at 1,000 blocks because they're version 2. I don't quite get like the integration of how they're going to work and what are they going to reward and all that kind of thing. But that's all speculations. Because I'm free rolling free blocks. And I've then got, you know, 10 lands again from those leftover, you know, at some point it might be left with the blocks. I've got the 10 lands and then I'm all gravy. And yeah, I basically got free. The end result is I've got 10 free lands and I've got whatever the residual is that I can't afford to obviously buy another land for. I got extra blocks. And, you know, at some point, if my thought process is correct, once those lands are minted on the website fully, it may not be an exact replica, but I can see it's happened again here, then these will start to have more volume, which should then bump the price up of these, because right now this is suppressed price because no one's really, you know, anyone that's smart enough will be actually minting from the website. Anyone that just wants the odd one here and there probably will just buy it from here. Like, I bought stuff from here because I just wanted one that had land that was like cool looking. But in terms of like being smart, I wouldn't, you know, if I was looking to get more than one, really, you would just be best getting it off the website because the cost, you know, saving $80 to $100, depending on the price of the blocks at the time, depending on what you're buying, obviously, blocks for at the time and converting. I just think it's going to be, you know, the smart move would to be part of the website. But anyone that's looking to, you know, accumulate some land plots, because you can actually see the different types of the NFT by looking at the plot. You know, that's water, for example, and it's clearly land. So people might want to get specific styles, or maybe they want to buy something that already has buildings on. And so yeah, there's going to be a premium for that, which is fair enough. So I'm going to leave the video there. Hopefully you got some entertainment out of it. Again, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, and I've got no idea how long this is going to last for. But I just know I'm doing it and it's working, and it's cool because it's fun as well. It's like, you know, because I'm linking to the NFT space, I'm creating more of a realized value in my mind of it, rather than I'm just trading something because I'm like, well, I don't really want that. I don't really want that. But in this case, I want ETH and I want blocks. So whatever the outcome is, I'm game because I want both. And so, you know, when you're trading, yeah, fair enough if it wasn't in like, you know, Bitcoin to USD, but I don't necessarily want Bitcoin. I mean, you'd hold it as an asset, I guess, but I want ETH because I want NFTs, and I want blocks because I want more NFTs. So it's perfect for me. So enough from me. Hopefully you understand a little bit of what I've been doing. Again, I don't keep it too fancy. I don't use any indicators at all. Like I could, but it's a bit too much of an immature asset. If you look at the history, ignore that previous price history. That was just like a test, I guess, because of no volume. It's basically just this. And yeah, the reason it's probably going down like this is because obviously ETH is performing pretty nicely, and so against ETH, it's not necessarily good. You know, if this popped up today to, I don't know, here 335.50, then you could potentially see ETH drop. ETH blocks drop, and so I'll be watching this as well to give me maybe a 10-minute insight or 1-minute insight, because if I see that pop up, I could imagine this at some point in the next 5 minutes just popping down. It could be even for a split second, to be honest, but like popping down here, and I might look to buy and get more blocks, and then have 30,000 blocks, and then hopefully sell up here, and then get 0.5 ETH or 0.6, and then keep doing it and see what happens. But yeah, enough from me. See you all in the next video, guys. Bye.